G'day everyone, my name's Isaac. Welcome to round 2 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship. We are here at Fuji Speedway for 18 laps around this beautiful track here in Japan. And this week I have my co-host Chris with me. Hello Chris.
Thank you, Isaac. Thanks for having me again, mate. Yeah, we're back here for round 2 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship in the beautiful Alpine country in Fuji in Japan. So I think this is going to be a really, really good race. A lot of high speed mixed with technical parts, but a big tyre degradation factor here in this one, Isaac. And it'll be a matter of not only be able to save your tyres, but you've got to be able to get the pace out of heavily worn tyres, and that's very much easier said than done.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely a very high tyre wear circuit. We'll get into that in a second. We will run you through the grid order first. So Ibn Hamza is on the pole with a 37.8. So only car in the 37s in qualifying, so definitely a lot of pace in that Corvette. Justin L, your series leader, starts from second place. K-Dot will come out of third, Jay Walbutton in fourth, F. Cristale in fifth, smashing Apex in sixth, RBS GT7 coming out of seventh, Pup in eighth. You got to be joking, the Swedish driver is coming out of ninth, L. Sandwith in 10th, BBL Flash in 11th, Street Style in 12th, Bazza 13th, moving up from Lobby B last week into Lobby A this week. BBL Sin Killer, another one that was in Lobby B last week, up into Lobby A this week. OGR Toolshed in 15th and Wrestler in 16th. So a full lobby this week, which is great to see. Certainly a lot of action. We'll have a look at the track map now. So 16 turns, 4.56 kilometers. So a lot of turning time around this circuit. We're doing 18 laps. It's a very high tyre wear circuit, as Chris mentioned, so the ideal tyre strategy in this one is an even split 9 laps and 9 laps on 2 sets of soft tyres, as softs are the mandatory tyre this week. But the alternative strategy, which some people could try out, is the medium to soft tyre run. So you run about 10-11 laps on a set of mediums and then run softs till the end, because the ideal sort of tyre life of the soft tyres around here for pretty much everyone is about 7 laps. After 7 laps you start to struggle a little bit, so you could just find some people running the medium to soft strategy just to keep those tyres, especially on light fuel at the end, in that comfortable wear rate.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Isaac, but keep in mind some drivers will definitely do the soft to soft tyre strategy here. We've noticed when the fuel tank does run low, the tyres don't fall off as quick. So I think there'll be a little bit of tiptoeing at the start of this one. People get a groove and then look for either an undercut strategy or run that 9-9 split. So it'll be really, really interesting to see, because there's so many diverse and different cars on the grid for this top lobby, to see how each and every car can kind of handle onto the left-hand side tyres as well. Now we're going through turn 4 and 5. That is a big spot where those tyres do get chewed up. So we'll have to see who's keen on racing hard and see if they can look after the tyres, because it's going to play a massive part in this.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, and as you mentioned, it is great to see a massive variety of cars, which means that there is going to be a variety of strategies and a variety of stories in terms of tyre wear and fuel usage across this one. We're going to jump into it now, so let's take you to all the action from Fuji. Alright, here we go then, coming towards the start line. We've got 3 lights, and we are away. Ibn Hamza will lead them down the front straight, and he's already weaving across the track. You can see the cars behind him getting into a groove with him as we come down towards turn 1. And it looks fairly clean so far. Is there any big moves into turn 1? It's hard to tell. We've got a nice close-up angle of K-Dot there. Looks like smashing Apex just a little bit loose on the exit of the corner. Bazza having a look down the inside of someone there. I can't quite work out who that was. It was BBL Flash. And it looks like he's just sort of fallen in behind there as well. So the number 3, what is that? The Visa Cash App Red Bull liveried BRZ just falls into 13th place for now. But fairly clean start here, Chris. Everyone's just sort of finding their line, finding their groove, and fairly incident-free for the first few turns, which is good to see.
Yeah, and I think it'll be very bold for a lot of the drivers to be aggressive at the start here. It's going to be a bit of a journey, this one, not a sprint, but I always see Hamza putting out quite a margin over Justin already, up there in P1 already, and pulling out quite a margin just on the opening lap here. So perhaps a bit more of an aggressive start here for Hamza, and looking at an undercut strategy. But already we're seeing a massive train of cars here just in the mid-pack. So and this can happen a lot. We did see this in round 1 at Daytona. The Cosentino effect was quite strong with people saving tyres or saving fuel, and there was a lot of incidents that come from that. So hopefully that we can all get through cleanly, especially through this technical sector here at the third part, and get quite hairy here on exit here, Isaac. I'm sure you feel that in the AMG as well, but you want to take as late of an apex as you possibly can to straighten out the car and get on the power as early. But we're already seeing the big toe effect here, so it's going to be cat and mouse from here on out.
Yeah, no, that's right. And, you know, every driver wants to get the widest line they can through that final corner to sort of hit the apex as straight as they can, because the better run you get out of that final corner, the better chance you'll have of being able to make a move into turn 1 here. As I think that's a move in the background. And there we go. So Bazza up the inside of BBL Flash. He's made that one stick. Sinkilla and Wrestler also battling in the background. But that was a beautiful move from Bazza there. I would also like to point out, I think we may have said this last week, but he races on a controller, and he does in fact he races with his chin. So it's quite impressive that he is able to do that, and also, you know, he's incredibly quick. So it's something that we all admire, and we're all very impressed with his ability to do that and make very clean moves like he did just there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bazza is a fond member of the community, and yeah, the BRs, they've just sent it straight up there on the inside and made a stick. So we'll have to see how the BRs can do on this track. Most people are aware of its lacking of a straight line speed, and mentioning that as well is going to play a big factor into overtaking and defending into turn 1. And so many cars here have different strengths and weaknesses, including, you know, how they get affected and how they get pulled along in the toe, and how that's going to play out. As we can see, K-Dot here in 4th position in Super already, seeming as though he's looked like he's saving it a bit of fuel here and taking his time. However, he's pulling a lot of cars with him, so we can look down at the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th big trainer cars there as well. So and a lot of these cars here as well, a bunch of these guys are in front engine cars, whereas Zylan here in the Ferrari, that unmistakable, undeniable rule of Ferrari, that mid-engine car is very, very strong, as we've seen throughout some of the technical sections here at Fuji.
Here we go.
It looks like there's going to look like on the move on the inside here. It just shows the nose, lets him know he's there. But yeah, that just goes to show the Lexus doesn't quite have the straight line speed as some of these other cars. So maybe some others here will be looking to get pulled along, but already we're just seeing the games here at the moment. So I'll be really interested to see who blinks first and tries to jump into pit lane for a possible undercut. And whilst we're mentioning this, Hamza on the opening lap punches a 37.9 on the opening lap. So we do know the Corvette is very thirsty on the fuel, but he's looking like he's punching out a margin here and just probably maybe going to maintain as the race goes on. But we know the ability of Hamza. We've also seen Justin and Warbottom, their ability as well. So it looks like that top 3 are just running their own race at the moment, but this middle pack here, 4th all the way down to 8th, is all where the action is at the moment, Isaac.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of action down here, and as you said, it's important to. I think it's important to work together around this track. I know. I find, especially on that straight, you don't really want to try and be the one that's pulling out and getting out of the slipstream, because then you're the one that's left out in the cold. So I think we'll see a lot of drivers working together here, using the slipstream down the straight and doing a bit of bump drafting to either pull away from the cars that are behind or to catch up to the cars that are in front, and just a little bit of pack racing. But then I just wanted to also mention back on that Bazza driving the BRZ, I believe he is one of the only, if not the only driver in the BRZ. As here we go, smashing apex. He's going to pull out and have a look at the inside of the Ferrari. Can he pull the move off this time? No, he shows the nose yet again. I believe there was an overlap there at one point, but the straight line speed of that Lexus just, it isn't quite there. But yes, so the BRZ, there was quite a few drivers with the BRZ in the pre-season, but then as we got into the actual season, a lot of drivers just moved away from it, I think because of the lack of straight line speed in that car. But there is a lot of battling going on in this mid-pack early on, and it's very competitive, and it's great to see that the mid-pack here is so competitive.
Yeah, meanwhile, while we're watching this mid-pack, looks like Justin Ladaway in the Porsche, as well as Warbottom in the Porsche as well for 2nd and 3rd, are duking it out quite hard at the moment. So these guys are hook, line, and sync between each other at the moment. But this is giving Hamza a free kick, and he'll be loving that at the moment, because we all are aware of the Corvette's inability to be able to have a lot of fuel and good fuel economy. So he'll be pretty happy to see what's happening there in the rearview mirror. So Hamza would just be managing the gap and keeping his cards close to his chest at the moment. So we'll have to see what else Hamza can do. And I can tell you right now, if cars like the Corvette, along with, you know, the Mustang, there's a couple of Mustangs in his field as well. Those cars with a lot of V8 power, a lot of, you know, torque going through those rear tyres on a track like this where you're managing tyres, like bravo to anyone can keep those cars on the track, because if I was in that car or a Mustang, I'd be struggling after lap 4, I'd say.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're a very tail-happy car, obviously being, you know, very American muscle. And here we go, Walbutton, he's pushing Justin L down the straight. He's trying to give him the hurry up. I think he wants to get onto the back of Hamza. He doesn't want to let him get away. And Justin sort of probably not got the pace that Walbutton really wants early in this one. So they are inseparable at the moment. They are glued to each other, and Walbutton doesn't want to let go of Justin L. He probably wants to get past, but he probably actually just wants to use him as a bit of a way to help him move forward and work together to get back up to Hamza and fight for that lead. So definitely a lot of close racing between these two early on, and I think, you know, there's a lot of close racing throughout this entire field, and that's what we love to see here at AGT. You know, we've got 3 lobbies, and they're 3 extremely competitive lobbies, and there's just a lot of close racing between all of these guys, which is wonderful to see, as we see K-Dot and Cristale going side by side there into the Dunlop. And here we go, so Cristale's going to have a look up the inside here into turn 13. Can he make the move stick? Yes, I think he can. He can. That was a beautiful move, not a conventional place to overtake. And K-Dot's going to have a look back up the inside. So these guys are getting really racy now. I think the tyre saving has gone out the window, and they've gone, all right, we're just going to go for it now. And Cristale, with a fairly unconventional overtake, I would think, into that turn 13, making the move stick and gaining a place on K-Dot.
Yeah, I think K-Dot got the rears just a little bit loose there, and Cristale was able to make a move on the inside because he didn't get the traction, but it's not over yet as all 3 of these guys approach turn 1. Looks like
we're going to go 3
wide.
We're
going 3 abreast. Cristale moves it over to squeeze K-Dot, but is able to run the long line, and this is inviting RBS GT7 and Pup into this, but it's quite not over yet. So we approach turn 3. We know 2 cars can't go 2 through there, but yeah, looks like we're just going to settle now, but it's definitely not over there. But that was such an important move.
K-Dot's going to look up the inside of Apex. That was a very important move for him, because these guys will continue to battle it out, and he can just now look at the gap he's already pulled, while Apex and K-Dot are duking it out. So Cristale, it's not a huge gap, but he's already just pulled enough that he's probably not under threat coming into the Dunlop, whereas Apex is going to have to look to cover. And he is. He's sort of covering that inside line, but he's going to move back to the racing line. No, he's going to cover the inside and cover K-Dot from that for that late braking move. So a brilliant move for Cristale.
That's a really authoritative move. Oh yeah, absolutely. But Cristale's going to have to get on with it now. The Ferrari, as we do know, is probably one of the best cars suited to this track, along with the Porsche and the Audi. So Cristale has a lot more pace under his finger now, so he's really going to have to use track position now and get along with it, because I think we've kind of picked up at the moment. I'm pretty sure K-Dot is taking a fuel saving moment. RBS goes for an early apex on the glass corner there, but he's going to compromise his exit, and K-Dot's going to get in that toe now. But Cristale's going to have to get along with it. But it looks like we have the first of our pit stoppers here on the end of lap 6. But kind of fakes it. Maybe a bit of gamesmanship there, I would say. But Cristale now is going to have to pull away and make this gap work, because maybe getting held up a bit by K-Dot with the fuel save, but we'll have to look out for him in the second stint. I'm sure he's got a lot more pace than what he showed already at this moment, Isaac.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, you know, just want to touch on that RBS move up the inside. Obviously, K-Dot is back past him again now, but there was a discussion that I think quite a few of us had earlier in the week leading up to this race, that there is multiple lines that you can take for pretty much every single corner around here, and they do different things for different people, and different people have a different way. Like, everyone has basically a unique way of taking this track, and as we saw there, just going up the inside and taking the tight line is probably as fast as going around the outside and taking the wide line through that last corner. But that straight line speed of that Supra is ridiculous. As here we go, I think there's going to be, oh no, not quite. I thought they were side by side into the Dunlop. I thought that might be a move around the outside from K-Dot. I thought that was going to be a very brave move to go around the outside into the Dunlop chicane. But K-Dot, I think he's probably has saved a little bit of fuel, but I think he's probably looking to push back up now. As you can see, he's gapped RBS a little bit and starting to try and catch back up to Apex.
Absolutely not wrong in that one there, man. Yeah, there's definitely, and this is the thing when you get such a large competitive field with so many different cars. You know, the cars are highlighting their strengths and weaknesses, probably, handle certain corners, certain elements of different tracks. So we have the first of our pit stoppers, as it looks like. So it looks like Pup and RBS would jump a position, and it's already, pit cycle's already happening now. So this might set off a trigger of more pit stops to come in the end of this lap 8 now, Isaac.
Yeah, no, definitely. So early stop for, I believe that was Smashing Apex in the Lexus. So he's going early and getting onto another set of softs early on. So we'll be looking to have a little bit less tyre wear in the second stint, obviously with the lighter fuel. So he's going to take advantage of the undercut. The undercut, very powerful around here. So the new tyres compared to the old tyres, very powerful. So definitely probably wants to get out of this battle pack, find himself some fresh air, and just try and get in some good consistent laps as these guys battle out. So that's Pup looking. Oh, here we go. Oh, I think that was very close from RBS, Jokin, and Pup. There was a little bit of smoke there, so not sure if there was contact between these guys. But this is very close racing, and this is essentially the British versus the Americas. We've got, and actually Japan are inviting themselves into this one as well with the Honda NSX with L Samwith. But you can see these guys behind. So Jokin, Samwith, and Street Styling were a fair way behind these guys when they first got up to the pack. But you can just see that trying to race in a pack and, not necessarily work together, but try and compete with each other for position just affects you so much that you lose so much to the cars behind, as Pup runs a bit wide there on the exit of the turn 13, that, you just fall into the trap of the cars behind and you just close up. So this will be brilliant for Smashing Apexes. There we go. Our race leader is in, and so is Jay Walbutton. So Jay Walbutton, who was glued to the back of Justin L, is in. I believe this is going to be RBS GT7 in as well. So first of our stoppers, and that's two of our leaders into the pits, Hamza and Walbutton. So they're going, they're going for the 9 and 9 strategy, or not quite the 9 and 9 strategy, about the 8 and 10 strategy. But there we go. So leader in, leader done. Walbutton will be out, and he's going for the undercut on Justin L, who stays out and inherits the race lead. So quite a varying levels of strategy here, Chris, in this one already that we're seeing.
Oh, absolutely. More importantly, Walbutton gets ahead of Wrestler there, currently running in P12 in that Corvette at the moment, so he'll benefit from fresh air as well. But we see Hamza just kind of not in the best position right now. Does have P1 hypothetically at the moment, but Sinclair and others are ahead of him at the moment. But there was a great stint there by Hamza, consistent mid-38s there despite his first lap fly. So he's put a lap time down, and then he's just kind of sailed and cruised, managed his fuel to go to complete his first in there. But Justin now inherits the lead of this race, so we have to see, does he push it for another lap or two, or does he come in at the moment? Because I'm pretty sure he might want to come in, because there's a possibility that he might lose P2 to Walbutton at the moment. But yeah, maybe kind of missing out on this battle pack between Justin Ladaway and Walbutton at the moment. Those guys are fighting for the last couple steps on the podium here, because it's just been Hamza's race at the moment. And as we are saying that, Justin has come into pit lane, so we'll have to see where he feeds out relative to Hamza and Walbutton. But Justin, really impressive here at the moment, and it's really good comparison to see himself and Walbutton battling at the moment, both in the same gear, both in the same hardware, in the Porsche 911 RSR GT3 Beast.
So
heavily loved and favoured.
Fuel going in.
We'll have to see what happens at the moment.
Where is he going to come out?
Walbutton coming along, pitch straight here. A bunch of others coming in as well,
Where's
including
Justin L?
Pup and K-Dot.
Here he comes out of the pits now. So Hamza gets him, and Walbutton's right there. So nice and close coming out of the pits. So I think he's just got away with it, Justin L. One more lap, and he definitely would have fallen behind Walbutton there. I think, he probably picked the right time. Obviously, the one lap undercut, probably not as powerful as the 2 lap undercut, where, Walbutton's tyres are now up to temperature, and it's going to be a dogfight to the end between these two, I would think. I don't think they're going to fall too far from each other. It's going to be a close one, but Hamza, he has come out with a fair gap as you can see, and he is catching up. I should point out, he is catching up to these cars in front who are yet to stop. So slower cars in front who are battling for position. So it's not like they're just going to give up and move out of the way. As you can see, he closes right up to the back of Street Style in there. He's going to have a look up the inside. Street Style will let him go, but how much?
That is a big grip advantage there, Isaac. That is a big grip advantage right there. Just a straight dive on the inside, car stable and through it there, and then that's the difference between fresh and worn tyres. So looks like Sam with Flash and Street Style are sacrificing a bit of track position here, running a bit longer, but boy oh boy, they'll be lit up for this second stint. They'll be very, very fast and very low fuel and very fresh tyres. So Hamza already just in the class of his own at the moment, in that Corvette as well, which is even more impressive. So we'll have to see what's happening in that mid-pack there as well. So we knew 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th were quite close at the moment. Looks like K-Dot's been able to jump Crestdale, so looks like saving fuel has benefited him. So now that he's got clear air, same with Apex, Crestdale and Pup seem to be running just behind Crestdale at the moment.
I was going to say...
these guys are all gloves off now.
Yes, I was going to say, it's worked out wonders for Apex, who look at the gap. There's K-Dot and there's Apex in distance. So look at the gap that he's pulled off by undercutting as early as he did. So, as we said, the undercut, especially over 2 or 3 laps, is quite powerful around here because you're on such a fresher tyre. And once it gets up to temperature, the grip difference, as we saw with Hamza, is quite strong. So he's done well. He's put himself up into 5th. K-Dot will now sit in 6th and has benefited from fuel saving to jump Crestdale. He will run in 7th with Pup behind him in 8th and Joken in 9th. So Joken and RBS GT7, well, these 3 actually are all quite close. So very, very close racing in this mid-pack, and fuel and pit stops, and when you pit makes all the difference. Like you can see BVL Flash there, he was right up with this group but stayed out a lap or 2 longer than they did, and now he has fallen just out of touch with that group. So here we go, RBS GT7 up the inside, makes contact with Joken. So side-by-side contact for the move there, a little bit of a force your way into the corner there, and Joken's going to give it back to him there. And RBS has gone around. So Joken maybe not too pleased with the way that RBS pulled off that move, and it means that RBS is around and will lose a bunch of positions. So that's really disappointing for him, all the way down into last.
Oh, that's a shame for RBS. That's a big shame. Looks like RBS looked for a move on the inside there and just kind of understeered, maybe just took a little bit too speed on the inside there. Gave Joken, a bit of a tap on the driver's side right-hand door, and then it all just unfolded on the corner after. So we have to leave that to the steward's room and see what they say post-race. But yeah, it's a really shame for RBS, who was looking very strong in the pre-season races leading up to the start of the season. Now, Samwith has come out now in P10. Not too far off this pack here of Flash and Joken, but with really low fuel and fresh tyres, he is going to be a man on the mission at the moment. So you have to see how many cars he can collect, and even on your point before, you were saying K-Dot losing some track position before, he's going to have a superior tyre grip advantage, especially towards the end of this race. So the undercut is strong and you gain track position, but as the race will go on, and you'll see towards the end here, I think some others that have pitted a little bit earlier might be struggling for grip compared to some others. And we know this track at Fuji, a lot of overtaking opportunities. Meanwhile, as we can see, wall buttons seem to have jumped Justin Ladaway here for P2 at the moment, so we might have missed a move there prior on the lap. But these guys are inseparable at the moment, and this is really, really good racing for these 2 as well. I love, we're talking about the diversity of the cars throughout the grid, but these 2 guys in the same car, they're just neck and neck at the moment. And meanwhile, we're quite impressed. Hamza in that Corvette is just on the league of his own at the moment. So it did come P2 the opening race there at Daytona Road Course to Josh Green. He was definitely the more superior, more highly preferred Ford GTLMN race spec car. But yeah, it looks like Hamza P2 and the P1, possibly by the end of this one, looks like he's already putting his hand up as hey, I'm a total contender and I'm here to win it all, Isaac.
So here we go. This is what happened with Justin L and Jay Walbutton. The overtake for second place. These guys have been inseparable all race. And I think, here we go, up the inside. Jay Walbutton down the inside, a beautiful move. These guys racing so cleanly. And it's a lovely move into turn 1 by Jay Walbutton. Absolutely beautiful. and that is for second place. So wonderful move. Now he's just got to try and break the gap to Justin L, because Justin L, he won't go back down without a fight. Let's take you back to the live action and tune in live with what's happening. Yeah, no, definitely 100%. Remember, there are 2 championships that these guys are competing for. So there's the GT3 championship, which is for all the races that you'll see on our YouTube channel, and they're all on a Tuesday night. And then we also have Thursday night Ferrari GT3 car races, but it's a one-make series, so it's just a Ferrari GT3 race car. And the points from this race, the GT3 race, and the Ferrari race go towards the overall leaderboard. So there are some drivers that are just competing for the GT3 championship, and there are some drivers like Justin L who are competing for the overall championship. So it is for a lot of these guys probably, especially getting towards the later end of the season, going to be a question of, do I battle for the race win here, or do I take the points and put it towards the championship? Remember, I think we mentioned this a couple times before as well, but there is a round drop. So your worst round for every driver will be dropped from the points. So if there's a driver that you miss a round, or you have a disappointing round and you finish all the way down the back, you will drop that round, so you won't count in your final points total, which is great for if you're missing around or something, but it will play a factor for a lot of these guys in terms of how the championship plays out. But for Hamza, obviously, a strong result last week, second place, and then a first place this week, so a very, very good race for him so far. And obviously the points as well, we should point out, are awarded based on the overall leaderboard. So all 3 lobbies, and I'm getting quite technical here with all the jargon I'm throwing, all the information I'm throwing at everyone, but all 3 lobbies, the results are combined together to make an overall finishing result, and that is how points are determined. So if you win in lobby A, most likely you will win overall, but it's not guaranteed. If there's someone in lobby B or C that does run a faster race, they will get the overall round win. So it's also about, even if you make a mistake, I guess, Chris, just getting back on the track and just running the car and running as fast as you can, because there may be drivers in other lobbies that have similar mistakes, and then you'll be competing with them for overall position.
Absolutely, Isaac, and we have noticed, or not noticed, it did play out. Round 1 for Justin was not a very favourable race for him. Got caught up in a couple of incidents and finished a lot further down the order than he would have liked. So this is a bit of a redemption drive for him to get some good points back on the board. So with the calendar that we have, you can't afford mistakes, but you can afford consistency, and kind of need to look long term at the moment. Meanwhile, we're watching these guys. If you have a look at the track map, it seems to be it's a 4th all the way down right to the rear of the field. It's all congesting, especially from P7, which Pup is occupying at the moment, all the way down. So meanwhile, these guys are dueling for 2nd and 3rd. It is well and truly not over for the rest of these positions, and such a diverse positioning some of these drivers at the moment just goes to show the adaptability of the car to track each race, and the strategy that's involved. We saw Jochen have a brilliant outing at Daytona at round 1 as well, but just a little bit further down the order this week. So it's super competitive, and look, some tracks are going to suit certain cars. However, we just got to make sure that everyone can finish the race, not get caught up in incidents, put the points on the board. I'm sure that's what Justin is being mindful at the moment. But I can tell you right now, knowing Justin and racing against him, and knowing him a bit personally as well, he won't be just quite happy sitting there in 3rd and thinking long term. He'll want that P2 right there and there. So this one's definitely not over for the last 2 positions on the podium, Isaac.
No, he's definitely not one of those ones that'll just sit quietly and take his 3rd place. He is right there. He can see 2nd place, and he will want it. And that's what I think makes him such a great racer and such a great driver, is that he's always hungry, and that's what you have to be as a race driver. If you get complacent and just I'll just take what I have, then you'll never get further. You'll never finish higher, and that's not how you win championships. And this guy, I know for a fact, just talking to him, he wants these championships, and the way he can do that is consistency, but consistently up the front. And after last week, I know he was a bit dirty with himself, You know, he made a few mistakes at Daytona, and he had a good race in the Ferraris last week, but I think he just wants to bring that consistency over to the GT3s in his Porsche and, you know, be up the front, but be fighting for podium places and not just sit back and take a third place.
For sure, and if you're saying Justin's hungry, I bet everyone else is starving down there, because it looks like 4th position all the way down to almost towards the back of the field is quite congested there at the moment. So we're starting to look like a form of train of cars that are coming down from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th and all the way down. So we might need to see where those are up to, because we know some of those drivers are undercutted, some ran a little bit longer, so it's definitely not over for some of those middle pack markers. So it looks like Flashy, he was a late stopper, Sandwich was as well, and I think Yoka might have ran maybe a lap or two later than majority of the field, but we're seeing K-Dot flying at the moment and Crestal as well, so they'll be looking to jump on possible 4th position at the moment. So that's tyre degradation difference there for you, and a bit of straight line speed, and if you've got the traction you can navigate the technical sections, but yeah, you can't manifest straight line speed. So it's definitely not over there for 4th all the way down.
Not at all. And I know we keep jumping back to it, but I do want to get back to this battle because it's getting very close. I'm watching the dot in the top right hand corner of the screen as we watch these other guys, and I just saw it merging into one dot, and I was like, we need to check this out. So here we go, Justin L side by side with Jay Walbutton down towards turn 1. This is for 2nd place, and he's going to go up the inside, and I think he's going to make it stick. And that is a wonderful move and great racing between these two. Definitely putting on a show for this for 2nd place and for the final podium spots in this one. So a lot of battle in between these two. They haven't really separated for pretty much most of the race, but I think Justin just has a little bit more speed. Obviously stopped a lap later than Walbutton did, so probably a little bit more life in those tyres. Not heaps, but probably a little bit more life in those tyres, and also probably sitting behind Walbutton using the slipstream to just save his tyres a little bit as well and not push as hard as Walbutton might be to try and keep Justin behind him. So the tyre wear now starting to take effect, and Justin is using that to his advantage.
Yeah, that was a really good move there by Justin. I'm surprised Walbutton didn't fight that too hard. I thought he might have moved it down on the inside, but he was happy to open the door a little bit there for Justin, but maybe Walbutton's got a little bit more up his sleeve to play towards the end. Meanwhile, we scroll down the pack here at the moment, and we know a bunch of these guys have a big tyre difference at the moment. So we're about to start the last lap here, but it looks like even the back end of the podium, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, it's all happening here at the moment. 2nd and 3rd seems to be the highlight at the moment. However, yeah, it's just non-stop action here. And yeah, definitely we can see a bunch of these drivers probably move or up or down the order.
Yellow flags. What are the yellow flags for? Oh, it's Walbutton. He must have had a moment. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. But I just saw the yellow flag just pop up on the screen, and he's fallen quite a fair way off Justin L there. So not sure. I don't know if there was contact between these guys, but we will find out. We'll grab a replay of it. Obviously disappointing for him. He was right there with Justin L and fighting for that 2nd place, but he still is in 3rd for now. He's got a relative gap to K-Dot behind him, so probably frustrating for him, but you know, still in 3rd place, and that's still a strong result for him. So this is what happened to Jay Walbutton coming into this final corner complex. He just gets a little bit too wide. So he comes to the apex of the corner, gets a bit too wide on the corner, gets a little bit loose, and then the curb just unsettles the car even more and the car spins. So just unfortunate. Thankfully, it wasn't a huge spin, can get the car going without losing a position to K-Dot behind, but just unfortunate because that battle with Justin L was really close. And it's just, yeah, disappointing for him and frustrating, I'm sure, but he'll take the 3rd place.
Yeah, must have just, lit it up on exit there. Him and Justin were fighting really hard, and it's a shame we couldn't get to see that battle unfold right until the start-finish line, but as we're watching this, Walbutton just rotate, securing 3rd position at the end of the podium. Looks like Sam with Papa, some of these guys aren't done yet, but Hamza, untouchable all race. Isaac seems like he's got a grip on the championship already. We're already 2 rounds in, so Hamza looks like the man to beat at the moment. However, his order still played down the order here.
Here we go. Joker got a little bit loose there. And here we go. So Joker a little bit loose.
Mustang won't like too much throttle application. So
no, they're not a big fan of that.
If Joker can hold on.
Here we go. Pup's going to have a look on the inside. No, he thinks better of it. He backs out of it. And he's going to push him through through this final complex. But it's going to be I'm going to jump to him now. It's going to be Hamza. He's got a slowdown penalty. It's not going to matter, though. The gap is too big to Justin L. And he is going to cross the line to stamp his mark on this championship and take win here in round 2. Justin L will take second place, and a brilliant drive from him today to come back after last week. Jay Walbutton, he was in the talk all day for that second place, and a little mistake at the end means he comes home in third, with K-Dot running a fairly quiet race actually in fourth. Smashing Apex will come home fifth in this one. Jokin will get 6th, Pup 7th, Sam with 8th, and Chris Dale, who had a slowdown penalty at the end. So a slowdown penalty for track limits meant that Chris Dale lost out there to everyone else behind him. So quite annoying. As we mentioned, that slowdown penalty is in a very inconvenient spot on that front straight, and it has played effect here for Chris Dale right at the death on the last lap.
Yeah, Fuji's probably the worst track in the whole Gran Turismo calendar, where that burn penalty zone really, really does affect you. 3 seconds feels like 20 seconds. Half a second feels like 10 seconds. So it's a very inconvenient spot compared to a lot of the other tracks. But wow, what a race! I mean, there were stories up and down the field there at the moment. A few undercut strategies there at play. K-Dot was able to climb. Warburton, unfortunately, just spinning out on that last corner, just approaching the start of the final lap. So never got to see that battle at the moment, but we have to, as you'll probably get to the race results soon, Isaac, very, very mixed up order compared to round 1. So if that's what we're in for, I mean, you can't put your finger on who's going to do what race, and that's just gonna bring the entertainment for us in the combox to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty wild race, Isaac. I don't know what your thoughts are generally, but yeah, here at Fuji, mate, I think I'm gonna clock off early. This one I might duck down the canteen and grab some sushi and get a drink, because that was a wild one, mate.
Yeah, no, definitely wild. We're struggling to get a formula. I think there is a couple names obviously that keep coming up, like Hamza and Justin L and Walbutton, but for that mid pack especially, 4th place down, it's very tricky to get a formula, which makes it hard to predict. But that's what we like, because it means that our job is that more exciting, because we never know what's going to happen. So we'll run you through the results now. So Hamza comes home with the race win in that one by just 4 seconds over Justin L. Jay Walbutton, he does get the fastest lap of the race, but he'll be a bit disappointed with that mistake towards the end. He comes home 3rd. K-Dot, quiet race for him, comes home 4th. Smashing Apex 5th. You got to be joking. One of the quiet movers in this one started 9th, comes all the way up to 6th. Pup 7th. L Sam with 8th. BBL Flash 9th. Street Style rounds out the top 10. BBL Sinkiller in his first week in Lobby A will come home 11th in this one. OGR Toolshed 12th. Wrestler, who started from the back, comes home 13th. Bazza 14th. RBS GT 7 and Chris Dale. Disappointing for those guys. RBS, obviously, that contact with Jokin early on, disappointing him, and Chris Dale, those late race slowdown penalty just really was a kicker for him. But a very competitive field, a lot of battles, a lot to talk about. But Chris, who would you say your driver of the day is for today? If you've got to give it to one person, who would you give it to?
Gotta give it to Justin, mate. He had a pretty tough one there at round 1 with incidents and the nature of the track serving him injustice there. But that was a really good redemption drive by Justin, especially holding off Warburton, who's proving his pace just as much as himself and Hamza. So got to give it to Justin. He was eyes forward, no looking in the rearview mirror there, and got a really, really strong P2 to get his championship campaign back on track.
Yeah, no, 100%. Definitely agree. Very strong race from him. Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been a cracker of a race. We're really glad to have your company. Chris, thank you so much for jumping in with me yet again this week. We'll see you all next week for round 3 at Monza. That's going to be an absolute cracker of a race. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. So thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure having you. We'll see you all next week. I've been Isaac. Thank you and goodbye.